The British Empire had long been involved in the region of Afghanistan, with the so-called Great Game being played between Britain and Russia for influence in Central Asia. Despite multiple attempts to assert control, Afghanistan remained unconquered by the British, leading to a series of conflicts known as the Anglo-Afghan Wars. The third and final war, which took place in 1919, is known as the Graveyard of Empire due to the significant losses suffered by the British. In this article, we will explore the causes and events of the Third Anglo-Afghan War. Causes of the war. The First World War had just ended, and the British Empire was struggling with its economy and finances. The British government was looking for ways to reduce military spending, and the India Office was one of the targets for cuts. However, the India Office was important in maintaining British control over India and its neighboring territories, including Afghanistan. The British felt that the Afghan king, Amanullah, was becoming too independent and might side with the Germans or the Bolsheviks, which could threaten British interests in the region. Therefore, the British government decided to launch a military campaign against Afghanistan in order to reassert control and maintain its influence in the region. Events of the war. The war began on May 6, 1919, with the British launching an attack on Afghanistan from the north and east. The Afghan army was ill-prepared to face the British, and the British advanced quickly, capturing several cities and towns. However, the Afghan king, Amanullah, rallied his troops and mounted a counterattack. The Afghan army, with the support of local tribes, launched a fierce guerrilla war against the British. The British were unable to maintain control over the captured territories, and their supply lines were constantly under attack. The British faced a significant challenge from the Afghan terrain, which was rugged and mountainous. The British troops were not trained to fight in such conditions, and their equipment was ill-suited for the terrain. The British relied heavily on air power to support their ground troops, but the harsh conditions of Afghanistan made it difficult for the aircraft to operate effectively. The British suffered significant losses, with over 1,800 soldiers killed and over 4,500 wounded. The Afghan casualties are estimated to be much higher, with over 15,000 deaths. The British were also facing a significant economic cost, with the war draining their resources and adding to their debt. Peace settlement. The British were unable to defeat the Afghan army and were forced to negotiate a peace settlement. The Treaty of Rawalpindi was signed on August 8, 1919, which recognized Afghanistan as an independent nation and granted it control over its foreign affairs. The British also agreed to withdraw their troops from Afghanistan and pledged not to interfere in the country's internal affairs. Impact of the war. The Third Anglo-Afghan War is known as the Graveyard of Empire due to the significant losses suffered by the British. It was a major blow to British prestige and led to a rethinking of their imperial policies. The war demonstrated that the British Empire was not invincible and that local resistance could effectively challenge British rule. The war also highlighted the importance of local knowledge and expertise in warfare, as the Afghan fighters were able to use their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage. Conclusion. The Third Anglo-Afghan War was a significant event in the history of British imperialism. The British suffered significant losses and were forced to recognize Afghan independence, marking a significant turning point in British imperial policy. The war also had wider implications, demonstrating that local resistance could challenge imperial powers and that local knowledge and expertise were crucial in warfare. The Graveyard of Empire remains a reminder of the